Hi guys, Tara Lynn here from Riverside Reptiles, and I told you that we were going to be doing a live feed from our Panther Chameleon exhibit. So I'll wait for a couple of you to join on, and we are going to be focusing on our theme of the week, defenses. So animal senses and defenses. For those of you that have bought memberships for us, thank you so much. You do not even know how much your membership money has helped us. And if you haven't bought a membership, it is a way for you to help us now during this virus pandemic. You can help us. That money will go towards the animals' care and their food. So thank you for those who have already bought pre-memberships. If you're just tuning in, I know I have 3 viewers so far. I want to wait for a couple more. Oh yay, we're up to 4. We're going to be talking about defenses, and we're going to be focusing on our Panther Chameleon. Gina aptly named him Boy George. So if you're familiar with the 90s song or 80s, I might be dating myself. Chameleon. That is where she got the name. And sorry that I just sang, but I'm waiting for more people to join us. We're up to 8 viewers now. If you have focused on any of my lessons, you'll see that each week they all tie in together. So our first one was adaptations, and then we did rainforest, and then this week we did defenses. So I wanted you to meet our Panther Chameleon and get to know him and a couple of his defenses and tie into adaptations. And where he lives is found in the rainforest, specifically on the island of Madagascar. One of the books that we talked about was Chameleon. So if you have access to this book, it's a great book and it's a good connection to today's animal. So we are behind the scenes now in one of the areas, and this is how you get into Boy George's enclosure. And here he is. He might get shy during this little live feed, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And you will see that he is quite colorful. He has shades of orange and green and turquoise, and even looks like he has shades of pink. That is his true defense. He will use those colors to help camouflage in his surroundings. So some of his natural surroundings might look like some of the leaves and trees that are right there on his background. But that helps him to stay perfectly hidden. He also freezes. So he will freeze and stay motionless for a good amount of time. So he could stay hidden and freeze so that an animal might be like a snake or a bird might either be flying or on another branch and not see him at all. If you look at his feet, one of his unique adaptations are those toes. So there's something called zygodactyl, which means they have multiple toes fused together. So you can try this at home, but he has 2 separate toes. He has a set of 2 that are fused together. So it looks like this. And then he has a set of 3 that are fused together. So he has 2 toes with 3 digits on one toe and 2 digits on another toe. And he has those on all 4 of his feet. Now, another thing he would do to defend himself if he was possibly going to get attacked is he would arch his back and stand up on his back feet, and he'll wave his front feet, and he will hiss and open his mouth. If he were to do that now, his mouth is pretty big. And inside that mouth, he has a really long, sticky tongue. And on the end of that tongue is something similar to a suction cup, and it's got a muscle on the end. It can come out pretty far, and that suction cup helps him to grab flowers or insects, and he has very precise aim. They rarely miss. Another one of his adaptations, since his best defense is camouflage and standing still, we're going to move on and tie into adaptations, are those eyes. He has eyes that are dome-shaped, and they can move independently of each other, unlike you and I. So he basically has a 360 degrees range of vision. They don't have very good hearing. They don't have an outer ear. As you can see, there's no ear hole, and he doesn't have a middle ear either. Some biologists believe that chameleons are actually deaf, but he relies a lot on his vision. So he can see something moving on this side or the other. And that's what helps, another way to protect him. Let's see, what else can we talk about while we're waiting? So far, we have 13 viewers. I hope we can get some more. My friend Kelly is watching. Hopefully she has Cole with her. Hi, Cole. Hi, Kelly. These chameleons are native to the island of Madagascar. We talked about their extraordinary color. If you look at Boy George here, he's beautifully colored. He has shades of green and turquoise, orange and pink, some stripes on him, a little bit of spiking on the top, the ridge of his back. And those actually help to protect him, like we were talking about with defenses, but they'll also aid him for his mood. So a lot of chameleons, because they are deaf, they'll communicate with their colors. So he can change a dark, dark color if he's upset, or if he is in a threat posture with another male, or if he's trying to impress a female. And females will also display different coloration depending on if they're ready to mate. Let's see. We didn't really talk about the claws on their toes when we were talking about their toes, but they do have a little claw on the end of each toe. He's checking me out to help them grip onto branches. When they do their courtship displays, he'll bob his head. His colors will get super bright. He might open his mouth a little bit. And then we talked a little bit about his threat posture, but he will open his mouth if he was threatening too. When it's time to lay her eggs, the female will lay about 10 to 46 eggs, and she'll lay them in a burrow. And when it's time for them to hatch, usually they have an egg tooth. And that egg tooth wants to know, do they lay eggs? Yeah, so Luke, you tuned in perfectly. We're just talking about that. So they lay about 10 to 46 eggs in burrows, and each of those eggs has an egg tooth. It's like a calcium deposit and helps them to break out of their shell. The only mothering that this female chameleon will do to her babies is she will cover the nest with twigs and leaves to camouflage them. A female chameleon does no care for her babies. They do not stay with her. If you watched last week, I introduced you to Millie. Millie was our monkey-tailed skink, and she is unlike other lizards where she will actually care for her young, and they stay in groups. We talked a little bit about them lacking ears. They don't have outer ears or middle ears. They are diurnal, and because they do not possess the rods and different types of night vision that you and I might have, or other animals to see at night. So they are diurnal. They primarily hunt during the day when they can see the best. They can live to be about 5 years old. This one just came to us, so unfortunately we don't know exactly how old he is. And actually he's doing very well during this. Usually he tries to hide from us. Using those toes, they can go horizontal or vertical up the branch, or on a branch. So sometimes he'll go completely on the other side of the branch and all you can see are his toes. We talked a little bit about what they eat and their tongue. So I know Luke just joined us, but they have a long, sticky tongue, and their tongue has a suction cup, like a muscle on the end of it, and it helps them to grab onto flowers and insects, and it's long and very precise, so they can snap it right back into their mouth once they get the object that they were looking for. And they have a unique bone inside of their mouth. It's called a hyoid bone. It's basically a piece of cartilage, and that extends from their throat to their mouth. So because their tongue is so long, that's where it rests when it's not out of their mouth. I think that's pretty neat. I still only have 13 people watching. Does anyone out there have any questions for me? Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer any. Let's step back a little bit and I'll show you Boy George's enclosure from this side. He has these nice vines and live plants. That's a pothos plant. And other live plants in his enclosure. When I first came and saw what Brian and Gina, our lead keeper, Gina had done, I thought they were fake, but they actually are not. He has coverings over his heat and light fixtures to keep the humidity in for him. And he also has a state-of-the-art misting system. It looks like kind of like a mini camera, but that helps him to stay wet throughout the day. So it goes off at 9 and 1 and right around 5 o'clock, acts like rain in the rainforest. And this is the rest of his enclosure. For those of you that did join me, thank you so much. And I will have it up on our website for a little while, and you'll be able to ask me more questions throughout the day. Say goodbye to Boy George. Check out his eyes one last time. Let's see how close I can get. Hopefully he doesn't open his mouth at me. You can see his eyes moving and those toes that I was talking about. Have a great day, everybody, and stay safe.